take a good look inside your kitchen cabinet right now. Go ahead, I'll wait. If you're anything like most folks watching this video, you've got a whole stack of plastic food containers in there, the ones you reach for every single day. And if you pull one out and hold it up to the light, I'll bet you see something that drives you absolutely crazy. That foggy, cloudy, milky-looking film all over the plastic. It used to be crystal clear when you first brought it home, didn't it? You could see right through it. You could tell at a glance whether you had leftover soup or last night's chili. But now it looks worn out, dingy, almost dirty, even though you just washed it 5 minutes ago. And here's the part that really gets under your skin. You scrub it, you run it through the dishwasher twice, you soak it in hot, soapy water until your fingers turn into prunes, and that cloudy haze just will not budge. It sits there, mocking you. So you start thinking, well, maybe it's just old. Maybe I should throw the whole stack out and buy new ones. And that's exactly what most people do. They march down to the store, spend $20, $30, $40 on a fresh set of containers, bring them home, and within a few months, those brand new containers look just as cloudy as the old ones did. But what if I told you that you don't need to throw out a single container? What if I told you that the cloudiness you've been battling is not permanent, it's not dirt, and it can be removed completely in about 5 minutes using 2 or 3 simple things you almost certainly already have sitting in your kitchen right now? No expensive cleaners, no harsh chemicals, no special equipment, just a safe, gentle, time-tested method that seniors all across America are quietly using to bring their containers back to life. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you're going to look at that cloudy plastic in a whole new way, and you're never going to throw out a good container again. Problem explanation. Now, before we roll up our sleeves and get to work, let me explain something important, because understanding why your containers get cloudy is the secret to fixing them the right way. And honestly, once you understand this, a whole lot of frustration is going to melt away. Here's the truth that almost nobody tells you. That cloudy film on your plastic containers is usually not dirt. Let me say that again because it's that important. It is usually not dirt at all. So all that scrubbing you've been doing, all that elbow grease, you were fighting the wrong enemy the whole time. That's why nothing worked. So what is it then? Well, that cloudy haze comes from a few different things, and they all sneak up on you over time. The first big culprit is grease and oil. Plastic is what they call porous. That means it has tiny, microscopic little openings all over its surface that your eye can't even see. When you store oily or greasy food in those containers, and let's be honest, most foods have at least a little fat or oil in them, that grease seeps down into those tiny pores. Regular dish soap and water just slide right over the top. They never reach down into those pores to pull the grease back out. So little by little, day after day, that trapped grease builds up, and it shows up as a cloudy, foggy film. The second culprit is mineral deposits from your water. If you live in an area with what they call hard water, and a huge portion of the United States does, your tap water is full of dissolved minerals like calcium and magnesium. Every time you wash those containers, a thin layer of those minerals gets left behind as the water dries. One wash, you'd never notice it, but over hundreds of washes, month after month, year after year, those mineral deposits stack up into a chalky, white, hazy film. That's the same stuff that leaves spots on your drinking glasses and that white crust around your faucet. And the third culprit is heat, especially from the dishwasher. Now, I love the convenience of a dishwasher as much as anyone, but that high heat combined with harsh detergents actually breaks down the surface of the plastic over time. It etches it, almost like fine sandpaper, and it bakes those grease and mineral deposits right into the surface. That's why so many people notice their containers get cloudier the more they run them through the dishwasher. So now you know, it's grease, it's minerals, and it's heat damage, all working together to fog up your once clear containers. And here's the encouraging part, the part I really want you to hold on to. Because it's not really dirt and it's not the plastic actually wearing out, it can be reversed. We just need to use the right approach, one that gently dissolves grease and breaks down those mineral deposits without scratching or harming the plastic. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you. So let's get into it. What you need: The best part about this whole method, and I think you're really going to appreciate this, is how simple and inexpensive it is. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need to order anything online or make a special trip to the store. In fact, I'd be willing to bet you have everything you need within 20 feet of where you're standing right now. Let me walk you through it. The first thing you'll want is plain white vinegar, just the ordinary white distilled vinegar you can buy for $1 or $2 at any grocery store. This is the real workhorse of our method. Vinegar is a mild, natural acid, and that acid is fantastic at breaking down mineral deposits and cutting through grease. It's gentle, it's safe, it's food-friendly, and people have been using it to clean their homes for generations. There's a reason your grandmother probably kept a big bottle of it under the sink. The second thing you'll want is baking soda, that humble little box of sodium bicarbonate that's probably sitting in your refrigerator or your pantry right now. Baking soda is a very mild abrasive, which means it can gently scrub away buildup without scratching the plastic. And when you combine it with vinegar, something wonderful happens that I'll show you in a moment. Next, you'll want a little bit of regular dish soap, the kind you use every day at your sink. Nothing special. And you'll want warm water, not boiling hot, just comfortably warm, the kind of temperature you'd be happy to put your hands in. You'll also want a soft sponge or a soft dishcloth. I want you to stay away from those rough steel wool pads or anything really scratchy, because those can actually scratch the surface of the plastic and make the cloudiness worse in the long run. Soft and gentle is the name of the game here. If you have one of those soft bristled dish brushes, that works beautifully too. And finally, 2 optional things that can give you an extra boost. The first is a fresh lemon, if you happen to have one. Lemon juice is another natural acid, and it smells absolutely wonderful, leaving your containers with a fresh, clean scent. The second optional item is a clean, dry microfiber cloth or a soft towel for drying at the end, because how you dry is actually more important than you might think, and I'll explain why a little later. That's it. Vinegar, baking soda, dish soap, warm water, a soft sponge, and maybe a lemon. Total cost? Just a few dollars, and you probably already own all of it. Now let's put it all together step by step. All right, my friend, this is where the magic happens. I'm going to walk you through this nice and slow, one step at a time, so there's no confusion and nothing to worry about. Just follow along with me, and in about 5 minutes of hands-on work, you're going to be amazed at the results. Step 1. Rinse and prep your containers. First things first, take all the cloudy containers you want to restore and give them a quick rinse under warm running water. We're not deep cleaning yet, we're just getting rid of any loose crumbs, leftover food bits, or surface dust. Think of this as clearing the runway so we can get to the real work. Set your containers out on the counter so they're all ready to go. Doesn't matter how cloudy they are, doesn't matter how hopeless they look, the cloudier, the better, honestly, because the transformation is going to be even more satisfying. Now, here's where we start fighting the real enemy. Grab a clean sink, a large bowl, or even a dishpan, whatever is big enough for your containers. Fill it with warm water. Then pour in a generous amount of that plain white vinegar. A good rule of thumb is about 1 cup of vinegar for every 4 cups of warm water, but you don't need to measure it precisely. Just make sure there's a good, healthy splash of vinegar in there. If your containers are really cloudy and stubborn, go ahead and add a little extra vinegar. You truly cannot overdo it. Vinegar is gentle and safe. Now, why does this work? Remember how I told you those mineral deposits and that baked-on grease are the cause of the cloudiness? Well, the acid in the vinegar goes to work breaking those deposits down at a chemical level. It loosens that grip the grease and minerals have on the plastic. It's doing the hard work for you, so you don't have to scrub yourself silly. Pretty wonderful, isn't it? Step 3. Let them soak. Place your cloudy containers right down into that vinegar water. Make sure they're fully submerged. You may need to hold them down for a second or use a heavier dish to keep them under the surface, because plastic likes to float. Then walk away. That's right, just leave them alone. Let them soak for at least 5 minutes. If they're extremely cloudy, give them 10 or 15 minutes or even longer. Go pour yourself a cup of coffee. Check your mail. Let the vinegar do what vinegar does best. And here's the part most people miss. This soaking step is the real secret. So many folks try to clean their containers and they rush it. They give a quick scrub and give up when it doesn't work. But the soaking is where the deposits actually break loose. Patience here makes all the difference. 5 minutes of soaking saves you 20 minutes of scrubbing. Trust the process. Now, after your containers have had their soak, this is where we bring in our second hero, the baking soda. Take a container out of the vinegar bath and, while it's still wet, sprinkle a little baking soda directly onto your soft sponge or right onto the cloudy areas of the container. Now watch what happens. When that baking soda touches the vinegar still clinging to the plastic, you're going to see a little fizzing and bubbling action. That's completely normal. In fact, that's exactly what we want. That fizzing is a gentle, natural reaction between the acid in the vinegar and the baking soda, and it helps lift the loosened grime right up off the surface. It's like a tiny scrubbing party happening on a microscopic level, getting into all those little pores and bubbling the gunk loose. Step 5. Gently scrub in circles. With your sponge and that little bit of baking soda, gently scrub the container using small circular motions. You don't need to press hard or work up a sweat. The baking soda is a mild abrasive, so it's doing the gentle scrubbing for you. Just go over all the cloudy areas, the bottom, the sides, the corners, and don't forget the lids, because those get cloudy too. Pay a little extra attention to any spots that look particularly foggy or have stubborn buildup. As you scrub, you might actually start to feel the surface getting smoother and slicker under your sponge. That's the grease and minerals coming off. That's the sound and feel of victory, my friend. Keep going gently until you've covered the whole container. Step 6. Add a squeeze of lemon for extra shine. This step is optional, but if you've got a lemon handy, I really encourage it. Cut your lemon in half and rub the cut side directly over the plastic, or squeeze a little of the juice onto your sponge. The natural acid in the lemon gives you an extra cleaning boost on any last bit of cloudiness, and it leaves behind the most wonderful fresh scent. It takes that slight vinegar smell and turns it into something bright and pleasant. For containers that had a lingering food odor, like the ones you've used for onions, garlic, or last week's tuna, this lemon trick is an absolute game changer. Step 7. Rinse thoroughly. Once you've scrubbed every cloudy spot, rinse your container thoroughly under warm running water. Make sure you wash away all the baking soda and any remaining vinegar. Run your fingers over the surface as the water flows. It should feel smooth and clean now, not gritty. Rinse until the water runs clear and there's no soapy or powdery residue left behind. Give it a good, complete rinse, because you don't want any leftover vinegar or baking soda taste in your next batch of leftovers. Step 8. A final wash with dish soap and warm water. Now give the container one last quick wash with your regular dish soap and warm water. This removes any final traces of vinegar, baking soda, and lemon, and it makes sure your container is perfectly food safe and ready to use again. A few seconds with the dish soap, a final rinse, and you're almost done. This little finishing step gives you peace of mind that everything is clean and fresh. And here's that final step I mentioned earlier, the one that's more important than most people realize. How you dry your container makes a real difference. Do not let your containers air dry sitting in a puddle of water, or don't just leave water droplets sitting on them. Why? Because remember those mineral deposits in your water? If you let the water air dry on its own, those very same minerals get left behind again as the water evaporates, and you'll start building up that cloudy film all over again. It's like running in circles. Instead, take that clean, dry microfiber cloth or soft towel and dry your container completely right away by hand. Wipe down the inside, the outside, the corners, and the lid. Drying it immediately and thoroughly is what locks in that beautiful clarity and keeps the cloudiness from coming back. This one little habit will save you so much trouble down the road. And that's it. Hold that container up to the light now and take a good look. Go ahead. Final results. Now, can you see the difference? Hold that container up to the window or the light, just like you did at the start of this video. That foggy, milky, worn-out haze that was driving you crazy? Gone. You can see right through it again. It's clear, it's bright, it almost looks brand new, like it just came out of the package the day you bought it. I want you to really take that in for a moment, because this is the satisfying part. Remember how that container looked just a few minutes ago? Dingy, cloudy, so foggy you couldn't even tell what was stored inside. You probably thought it was a lost cause, ready for the trash. And now, look at it. Crystal clear, fresh, clean. And you did that yourself with a couple of things from your own kitchen in about 5 minutes without spending a fortune on replacements. Let me be honest and realistic with you, because I always want to be straight with you. Not every single container will go back to looking 100% factory perfect, especially if it's very old or has deep scratches from years of heavy use. But the vast majority of cloudy containers, and I mean the great majority, will come back stunningly clear with this method. The transformation on most of them is honestly remarkable, and I think you'll be surprised at how well it works. And here's the best part of all. This isn't some trick I just dreamed up. This is a tried and tested method that's been passed down and used in kitchens all over the country. The science behind it is solid. Vinegar dissolves minerals and cuts grease, baking soda gently scrubs without scratching, and proper drying prevents the buildup from returning. It's safe, it's natural, it's gentle on your hands, and it's gentle on your containers. There's nothing harsh or dangerous about it. That's exactly why I wanted to share it with you. So the next time you reach into that cabinet and pull out a cloudy container, you don't have to sigh and toss it in the trash and head to the store. You can bring it right back to life. Doesn't that feel good? Now that you've got your containers looking clear and beautiful again, let me share a few simple habits that will help keep them that way, so you don't have to do this nearly as often. A little prevention goes a long way, and these tips are easy to fold into what you're already doing. First, try to wash your plastic containers by hand when you can, especially the ones you really care about. I know the dishwasher is convenient, and there's no shame in using it. But remember, all that high heat is one of the main things that bakes on the cloudiness and wears down the plastic over time. Hand washing with warm, soapy water is much gentler, and your containers will stay clear far longer. If you do use the dishwasher, try placing your plastic items on the top rack, which is farther away from the heating element on the bottom. Second, get into the habit of drying your containers right away with a soft towel instead of letting them air dry. As I mentioned, this is the single best thing you can do to prevent those water minerals from leaving a cloudy film. Just a quick wipe down after washing and you're golden. It only takes a few seconds. Third, be a little careful about what you store and how. Greasy and oily foods and brightly colored foods like tomato sauce or curry are the worst offenders for staining and clouding plastic. If you can, let very hot or oily food cool down a bit before sealing it up in plastic. And if you've stored something greasy, give the container a thorough wash soon after, before that grease has time to settle into those tiny pores. Fourth, every couple of months, you can do a quick vinegar soak as routine maintenance, even before the cloudiness has a chance to really build up. A short, regular soak keeps the minerals and grease from ever getting a foothold, so your containers stay clear with almost no effort at all. Think of it like a little tune-up. And finally, if you ever notice a lingering smell in a container, sprinkle a little baking soda inside, add a splash of water to make a paste, let it sit for 15 or 20 minutes, then rinse. Baking soda is a natural odor absorber and works wonders on those stubborn food smells. These little habits, done now and then, will keep your whole collection looking fresh and clear for years to come. Well, my friend, there you have it. Who would have thought that those sad, cloudy, foggy containers you were ready to throw in the garbage could be brought back to crystal clear life in just about 5 minutes, using a little vinegar, some baking soda, and things you already had in your own kitchen. No expensive cleaners, no trip to the store, no waste. Just a simple, safe, gentle method that really works. So here's what I want you to do. don't just watch this video and move on. Go to your cabinet right now, or the very next time you're in the kitchen, pull out your cloudiest, most hopeless-looking container and give this method a try. I promise you, when you hold that container up to the light afterward and see it clear again, you're going to feel that wonderful little spark of satisfaction. There's just something deeply rewarding about fixing something with your own two hands instead of throwing it away. And after you've tried it, I would absolutely love to hear how it went for you. Leave me a comment down below and let me know. Did your containers come back clear? Which ones surprised you the most? Do you have a little cleaning trick of your own that you swear by? Your comments and your tips help so many other folks in this community, and honestly, they make my day to read. So don't be shy. Drop me a note down there. Now, if you found this helpful, I've got something special coming up next that I think you're really going to love. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to remove those stubborn stains and lingering odors from plastic containers. You know, the orange tomato sauce stains and the food smells that just won't quit. It's another simple, safe method using everyday household items, and it pairs perfectly with what you learned today. You won't want to miss it. So, do me a favor. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now, and be sure to click the little notification bell right next to it. That way, you'll be the first to know the moment that next video goes live, and you won't miss any of the simple, safe, money-saving cleaning tips I share here every week. We're building a wonderful little community of folks who love keeping their homes clean and fresh without spending a fortune, and I would be so glad to have you as part of it. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. It truly means the world to me. Now, go grab those cloudy containers and give them a brand new life. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and happy cleaning.